like?
It's incredible. So this year we set a new one-day attendance record because in prior years we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to host all the schools. We just shoved it all into Friday.
Yes, I love that. Kids everywhere.
Yeah, kids everywhere, all ages, all types of schools, homeschool, public school, private school. So we bring them all in. We coordinate this throughout the year with the schools, and they have to coordinate. Getting out here is kind of a thing. But anyway, so yeah, you saw what you saw. We're open today and tomorrow, so all the race fans and their kids and families, all the young adults and old adults, they can all come in.
Everyone's a part of the September family here. You had 6,000 some odd kids yesterday. Normally, like you said, you've spread it over 3 days. They're all here.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what goes on in the STEM Discovery Zone.
Yeah, so we have a lot of different things. This year, our team every year we have a professional team of adults. They come in they fly in from everywhere. We had them from Texas, California, everywhere. Anyway, we had Chuck Yeager's wife.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Victoria Yeager's there. She's giving stories. These things are just priceless. And the kids, I mean, a lot of them haven't heard, but when she shared stories of, his heroism and just great things that he did and breaking the speed of sound and all this, the kids are like, and this is like elementary school kids are having that reaction. We have one tent just with flight sims. We have 9.
There you are.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, so we have 9 flight sims in a tent.
That's so cool.
We'll have all the stuff ready today as well. We have a 3D printer that's just live 3D printing stuff. We've got a bunch of 3D printed stuff, like a 5-foot-tall Saturn V rocket.
Wow.
So come on in and take a look at that. Yeah, we got all kinds of cool stuff.
So you have a hat on, and I need to ask about this. GRADD, and then there's NVBAA. What are those acronyms?
Yeah, so NVBAA is our nonprofit. It's Nevada Business Aviation Association.
Okay.
So we do different things. STEM is one of our 3 pillars. The other is to help raise funds for the Nevada rural airports. I'm the chairman of the Nevada Aviation Technical Advisory Committee, NATAC. So what we try to do is help airports like this get funds, federal funds to improve, right? Improve the infrastructure, improve the airport, and of course create jobs. And you got to create a pipeline. So
Right.
we want young kids and young girls and boys to learn about this industry, get excited about it, and be like, yeah.
You talked about the young kids. One of the big factors in getting into any aviation industry, of course, is money. So this organization and the ones that you partner with and affiliate with have really focused on scholarships for these kids. Talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So this was a few years ago, and the idea is that to get a private pilot's license is expensive. So dollars per student who qualifies, see them, sort of get that of it, and that's just kind of a starting position as a person that becomes an aviator and can proudly say, I'm a pilot, and that responsibility that comes with it as a young person. I think that's such a great advanced pocket, and feel confident that now you can do something with it. So done, I don't know, dozens of scholarships now.
And I think we're actually going to be giving away some scholarships. So we're listening right now because we have our opening ceremonies behind us. And in just a moment, we'll be turning things over to Greg Gibson to actually present the scholarships that you're talking about. So as we're waiting to do that, we may cut our conversation short, but tell me, yes, your hat, GRADD. Thank you.
So yeah, correct. So that's a company where we provide drone pilot training. So global robot and drone deployment. So we've been doing this for providing in-person training and flight training and things. We do a lot to focus on school districts. So we just did Compton School District, and we trained them in person and online and blah blah blah. So the idea is to bring that kind of technology, unmanned aircraft technology, to schools and get the kids involved, because they play video games, and that's one skill they can actually play and get paid to play. And I mean, it's just so exciting. And there's so many things now. The hurricane, they're using drones to deliver, life-saving stuff, medical supplies and other things. So there's so many different applications, and they all know about drones. So it's exciting. That's what we do.
Reza, let's see what kids out there are being inspired. They're
Let's
announcing the scholarship winners right now. It's just so great. You can hear the applause in the grandstand as the audience is listening to the names being read off of some very deserving kids.
Zach Wells, Zeus Wesley, Big round of applause for all of our students. We'd very much like to thank the Ray Foundation, the Cy Robin Foundation, the Ellsworth Hovey Getchell Foundation, the donors like you that make this possible. Please feel free to go onto our website at airace.org and make a donation. Thank you very much.
On the
real
set,
quickly, we got
thank
our
you for taking the time and helping be a small part of the inspiration side of the House with the September family and all the good work that has happened here in this community and beyond. Thanks for making the
Absolutely.
time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Have an awesome time. Perfect weather. Come on out if you haven't gotten your tickets yet. We still have a few left.
Yeah, don't take your headset off yet. We're going to go
okay.
ahead right
I thought it
now.
was coming
Brittany,
out.
what's coming up next?
For decades, Reno and air racing have been synonymous as the competitors of the fastest motorsport on the planet converge each pylons. Throughout the show today, we'll be looking back at more than 50 years of air racing at Reno, and it all started with one man's idea.
The Reno National Olstead, a local businessman and former hydroplane racer who wanted to rekindle the no-holds-barred racing last seen in Cleveland in the 1940s. The first Reno air races in 1964 and 65 were conducted at Sky Ranch, which had a 2,000-foot dirt runway. The facilities might have been a bit primitive, but the racing was a hit. In 1966, the event moves to Stead Field, where it has lived ever since. The 1960s Unlimited Championships were the exclusive domain of Grumman F8F Bearcats. Lucky test pilot Darrell Greenemeyer in Race 1 captured the gold championship 5 straight years. Air racing's most active class, the Formula One planes, were also on hand from the beginning at Reno. Bill Falk in Rivets was one of the early champions. But by 1968, all roads to Formula One gold went through Ray Cote. The Californian began a run of 8 shoestring. The biplanes have been at Reno since the beginning. Men like Bill Bolin and Dallas Christian set a high bar in those early years. Biplanes had the biggest winning speed increase of any class, picking up 40 miles per hour from 1964 through 69. In 68. Though the T6s are mostly speeds in those first years below what we see today. Reno puts air racing back on the map.
This home pylon front and center for decades of racing out here at Reno Stead. Just an incredible opportunity to listen to the stories, hear those engines as they race. I've had an opportunity to witness these races, and I am obviously sad. So many people, a multi-generational event that they've attended, but obviously with some of the incredible opportunities and things coming down the pipe, if you will, for Roswell, New Mexico, need to be reborn and reinvented.
We have our pins. The mayor were able to get our Roswell pins, but Roswell,
He's a character. You guys. He's coming on set in a little bit.
is no stranger to flying objects. They'll have a few more than usual in 2025. The Reno air races are flying south to become the Roswell air races, which we'll talk about more throughout our entire broadcast. It'll be a weekend of intense competition, as we know, just like it was here in Reno, and the fastest motorsport on Earth, again, will take to the skies.
Yeah, I'm looking out at the crowd that's forming. Just absolutely gorgeous weather here. A jam-packed show. Obviously, to include our friends to the north, the Canadian snowbirds out here. You heard from Rich McDougall briefly on the set. You could see folks moving around the flight line here, and the ramp and this whole airport is quite long. It's a long, skinny rectangle, so folks have quite a ways to walk. You can see opening ceremony still well underway. A number of board of directors, if you look on the lower right-hand side of your screen, sort of congregated out there congratulating the scholarship winners. A lot of a pomp and circumstance for very good reason. As we get ready to get some flying underway here momentarily, it's an opportunity for the folks who work so hard. I see Bobby Thompson. I see some of the other directors out here. Folks who are well known, perhaps internally on the inertia side of the house, and with Air Racing Association out there giving us all a big round of applause and a hand for a job well done over these 6 years.
And Steph, one of the great things I've learned about being here just for a few days is the connection to our air show performers. As an air show announcer, we often talk about what they're doing during their air show, but so quickly have I learned our connection to air racing, and we're going to showcase and highlight, and it's such a great relationship between the two. So it's really enlightened me on how much we cross over and where people have started from, and we'll hear the Chino kids a little bit and the stories behind them running around as children here, growing up and we get to bring all that to you.
So Vicki Benzing, flying later today in Plum Crazy. An airplane well known to anyone who is familiar with certainly the air racing circuit.
Nice aileron roll. Makes it look so easy today. Through the late 70s and 80s and 90s, the 924 could be found on the air show circuit all around the country and made semi-annual trips to where Frank and Dennis would provide instruction to students and the U.S. Navy Test Pilot School who evaluated the aircraft as part of their curriculum. An semi-annual trip bouncing around giving instruction. A little bit about the history. After an engine failure in 1998, the 924 underwent a thorough rebuild of both airframe and engine and reemerged onto the scene at Reno in 2012. It is one of only 4 original to the Seaferries. It is also flown regularly at air shows, events in California, and races annually, not only here at Reno, but now moving to Roswell. Again, the Sanders Aeronautics, founded in was an avid car drag racer and co-owned the S&S Headers, a high-end fabrication shop specializing in custom headers, and it was a World War II pilot. And we have something very special as Dennis continues to fly the incredible Seaferry. Welcome to the set, Vicki Benzing.
Vicki, obviously such an accomplished racer in your own regard, and I will talk to you about Plum Crazy and what's happening today. But for folks at home who maybe don't understand the legacy of the Sanders family, we have a lot of air show crowd, maybe not a lot of folks in the racing world yet. Tell me a little bit about this particular family and just—
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right?
They're like the family of air racing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, all the way from the beginning.
Yeah, they talked about the Chino kids running around with the
Right.
Hintons and
Yep.
the Sanders.
Yep. To get to fly with these guys is really an honor. Yeah.
You were very excited this morning. The restoration, how long did it take you to get Plum Crazy ready to go?
Oh my gosh. It was a 4-year restoration run by the Planes of or Fighter Rebuilders, Steve Hinton Jr. So really excited to get ready for the races last year. It was kind of racing of my flying career to be out there last year.
You fly all the things, and she's, as we discussed, I said this earlier, Vicki, I'm gonna, she's obviously very even-keeled and measured, but you giggled this morning because you've got some very fun stuff coming up for your demonstration day. I don't want to give it all right. See, she's like, oh yeah. These are incredible
We're back
machines.
in Reno, baby.
and you're aware a little bit about the support that you have from CAU.
Oh, so California Aeronautical University, they're down in Bakersfield. They have campuses in Oxnard and San Diego and Phoenix. And to at least all the local air shows, they bring a trailer and they're out there supporting me. So that's kind of cool.
They're an incredible partnership. We
They are an
enjoy.
incredible partnership.
I will have the honor to talk about it during your flight, during the air show, to talk about the CAU and also the incredible stories behind Plum Crazy.
Look at Dennis's smoke.
Is it?
I've been
Twisting.
asking my husband for smoke.
Jeff.
Smoke for Christmas.
You want
He
smoke
said
for Christmas?
no.
I'm happy with a bottle of wine and candles, and she's like, I need a smoke system.
Smoke system.
For Plum Crazy, please. That's outstanding. That's wonderful. Vicki, thanks for making the time to chat with us. Stay with us here as we get ready to take this shot in full so you can get a nice close look here at Dennis Sanders' gorgeous airplane.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Again, thank you so much. We have the specs up there. The length of the Sea Fury going through the ceiling, 35,800 feet in a range of 1,130 miles per hour. Beautiful seeing the Sea Fury fly here in Reno, hearing from the incredible Vicki Benzine, who took the time to come up. She still has to get ready to fly later today. And as we continue, we have more guests joining us on set as we continue to watch Dennis Sanders.
Greg Gibson joining us now. Greg, obviously working with the Reno Air Racing Association and NCAR, but Dennis Sanders is near and dear to your heart, Greg, and he's who's flying now. We're taking a listen to that incredible engine. Tell me a little bit about your friend Dennis Sanders.
Well, you know, Dennis and his family just represent, you know, air racing. If you look at that, there's such a heritage there. Right now, Dennis is 24 that actually, you know, he flies in the races. You know, he's been our person of the year. He's been an air race champion. You know, his daughter Shannon, married to Joel Swagger, of course, flies Dreadnought. You know, the whole thing. It's just such an exciting thing to see that legacy continue. We even watched little Owen, you know, his grandson comes out here. He's got his little Dreadnought up there next to big Dreadnought, polishing it out. So as much as we love the excitement of the air races, it's certainly about the family and the tradition that carries on. And that's just, we're so excited that you have Dennis here representing, you know, not only the air racing and the unlimited class, but the Sanders family here. Be very modest about, you know, their contribution, but we'll say it for him about how much we appreciate them and how much they've done to further this sport. It's just really fantastic.
From Reno to Roswell, what are you most excited about as you look at what's ahead?
You know, such a list.
Yeah.
You know, I had not spent a lot of time down there, and I went down there. The people are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
You walk into that town, and I love walking in all branded up because it's just like you just get mobbed. You know, I couldn't even get, you know, I was trying to get my rental car the last time I went in there, and the poor guy just wanted to talk so much about air racing. The people behind us are like, hey, can we get our car? So to get in a restaurant, welcoming, and then you get out to the airfield, and of course it's a former military base. So you just got acres and acres and acres of it's very flat. You know, it's in the desert.
Yep.
You know, as far as, you know, land encroachment or things, building buildings that are going to interfere with racing, we do not have that issue for the
Which was a
foreseeable
consideration
future.
as you guys were
It was a
looking at that.
consideration. Safety, you know, being able to, you know, put an airplane down that's having a problem in there. Huge medical response. They have actually training facilities. So not only do we have leaders that are there in the capacity to handle any sort of incident that could come up, no matter what it is, weather or an incident on the track, but you also have, you know, a student population there that's managing. And it was another big consideration for the choice there at Roswell.
Yeah, certainly as we watched, we dipped into you giving away the scholarships. The Reno Air Racing Association and NCAR obviously being front and center in making sure that our kids are inspired and also have the funds to be able to execute on their dreams. Greg Gibson, thank you so much for being here with us. Stay with us as we get ready for Undaunted Air Shows. This should be a lot of fun, Brittany.
And there they are getting demonstration, taxiing out right now. A huge thank you to Greg Gibson for taking time to come up here, talking about the connection of air shows and air racing. Again, blending it all together right now as we have Undaunted Air Shows coming in. The Undaunted Air Shows team draws its inspiration from both small and large formation teams, including the renowned U.S. Navy Blue Angels, U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds, and the Canadian Forces Snowbirds. They will perform many of the same maneuvers of these elite teams, but they do so with just 2 aircraft, showcasing the dynamic RV-7 kicking off right now. Unique approach involves frequently changing positions, and we will be able to see that as you look at the red and the orange taking to the sky right now. They will transition from left wing to right wing to the slot or in trailing position. And the dynamic movements keeps their performance engaging as well as challenging as they execute loops, rolls, lead changes, and thrilling head-to-head passes, all designed with their audience in mind. Both virtually with here who are tuning in, and also for those who are surrounding us in the grandstands as they are watching live and in person. The team right now setting up, getting ready for their demonstration. It is exciting. I had the privilege. I have not watched Undaunted air shows before or announced for them. And this was really exciting to see their rehearsal yesterday. They took to the sky during the Twilight show, and it was definitely thrilling to see the RVs take to formation and head-to-head execution. Just like they said, stealing a lot of inspiration from our military jet teams. And there we go, smoke is on. They encourage spectators to identify these positions. We'll talk about them as they go through.
That's a tight formation, looking sharp, boys.
And watch, they will slide closer and closer together.
As is always the case, so often when you talk to airshow performers, it was an airshow experience that got them interested in becoming a part of this world. And same for the military teams. No different. A lot of them saw a fighter pilot fly, and then of course the Top Gun 1 came out, and that was the end of it. So it's fun to be a part of this inspirational story.
So as we encourage all of you to chime in with us, please let us know where you're checking in from. Undaunted wants you to do the exact same thing. You can tag Undaunted air shows. They also have videos of the performances that you can follow them on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Rumble, and YouTube. So please check in with all of us.
As for the show just did and decided to tune back in, David, welcome very much. Paul Agnew, watch. But also we've got lots of folks checking in now. David Haney from France, which is marvelous. Also Dennis, actually from right here, right by us, Lemon Valley, Nevada. Daniel, glad you're with us on this broadcast. Daniel Castaneda. We're going to get these check-ins from folks all over the place. I think we had Cambodia. I'm sure at some point our friends from New Zealand are going to join us on. So thank you guys for your check-ins.
Watching the team a wing over right now as they change what they were talking about, encouraging continue to adjust and change their maneuvers throughout their entire demonstration. Now, beyond their aerobatic formation demonstration, they will incorporate all the basic fighter maneuvers, or BFM, that every military pilot learns. As they do a crossover right there, we will see that later on with the Blues.
For people who have had the good fortune to take an aerobatic flight, and Brittany, I know you've done that, BFM is next level. It often makes people pass out, and even fighter pilots who are flying in the back seat when they're not in control of their own fight through some nausea as a result of BFM. So it's no joke what they're doing out there.
No joke at all. And we just saw the head-to-head. I call it a little bit of a game of chicken as they are going towards one another and now circling around, adjusting their maneuvers with their own exciting touches. They continue to perform dynamic separations. Again, we saw the head-to-head passes and their complex rejoins, as you will see right now coming in. There it is.
We need to make a list of everyone who's got a smoke system and give it to Jeff Benzing.
Jeff
Benzin's
Benzing.
husband, because everyone, she would like a smoke system, which is great. I love that.
Shout out smoke system for Christmas.
Yeah, that's right.
I like that. One of the things Undaunted Air Show is their purpose. Their purpose is to equip the air shows with formation flying, again, the basic fighter maneuvers, and to demonstrate safety flying with these home builds, the RV7 and RV8.
I'm noticing a lot of Canadians checking in as well, and heard exactly what those planes are, so we hope we've answered that question for you. Lars joining us from Denmark. But listen, we've got Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Matthew, welcome to the broadcast. Baz, Nova Scotia. Infantry joining us from Ontario, so you obviously have gotten word that you're